praise.
That's what I did.
You.
There are a lot of people that will love to tell you that based on your shortcomings, based on your idiosyncrasies, based on your sin nature, that God cannot use you. And even the devil will chime in. He'll say, you know what? God can't use somebody like you. You're too messed up. You got too many issues. You don't fit in a certain prototype. Your pedigree ain't right. That's what people do. They like to tell you that God can't use you. But the next time you feel like God can't use you because of your past, remember this. Noah was a drunk. Abraham was a liar, thought he was too old. Isaac was a daydreamer. Jacob was a trickster and a liar. Leah thought she was ugly. Joseph was abused. Moses was a murderer and had a stuttering problem. Gideon was afraid. Samson thought his hair was too long and still was a womanizer. Rahab was a prostitute. Jeremiah and Timothy thought they were too young. David had an affair and was a murderer. Elijah was suicidal. Isaiah preached naked. Jonah ran from God. Naomi was a widow. Job went bankrupt. Peter denied Christ. The disciples fell asleep while praying. Martha worried too much. The Samaritan woman was divorced more than once. Zacchaeus was too small. Paul was too religious. Timothy had an ulcer and Lazarus was dead. And you mean to tell me after all that, God can't use somebody like you? Touch your neighbor's hand. You don't want to know what was wrong with me. You really don't. So God can use anybody regardless of their past. Found out the problem why a lot of us can't reach the goal. We can't get the thing that God has for our lives. It's simple. Watch this. There's a story of a young groom who finally got married and finally got his first honey-do list. And his wife said, baby, this is what I want you to do. He was so excited. He got his first honey-do list. It was only one thing she needed while she was fixing dinner. Could you run to the store and get me a loaf of bread? That's all I want. He was happy, got in the car, drove off to go get one loaf of bread. And he didn't even need a buggy. Got in the grocery store, going to get one loaf of bread, but he got distracted. He saw these cupcakes, ding-dongs that were on sale. Boy, he grabbed 2 boxes of cupcakes, and then he went down another aisle looking for the bread, you see. And then he saw some Cheetos. He said, woo, got a big old bag of Cheetos in this hand, cupcakes in this hand. Then something hit him, you know, if I eat these Cheetos, it's going to spawn my thirst, so I got to get me a 6-pack of Coke. So he got him a 6-pack of Coke. It's a sad sight. Now look at him carrying ding-dongs and carrying Cheetos and carrying Cokes, going through the aisle without a basket. He went to the store for bread, but now he don't have room to tote the bread. That was the one thing his wife asked him to do, just get bread. And the reason why he don't have room to catch the bread, because his hands are full of junk. You know what? The reason why some of us can't get the one thing God told us to get, because we're full of. When you reach for things, man, you don't sit around, people call you in the morning, in the middle of the day, what you doing? If you talking about nothing, then you're not a reacher. But if you a reacher, every time somebody call you, you're reaching for something new. You ought to be making folks sick. Every time I call, you always doing something, always working on something right, because I'm not sitting around like you, twiddling my fingers. I'm reaching for something. Yeah, I wish I could preach just like I feel it. If I could just but touch the hem, that was the spot. She said, I'll get the prize, I'll be made whole. So she pressed her way. She got in from the rear and got down low. That'll preach right there. She came in from the rear and got, because the lower she got, the closer she got. Oh my God, I'm gonna leave that alone right there. But she pressed her way. And when you recognize your need, when your need gets greater than the opposition, you oppress. The reason why some of you give up, because your need hadn't got great enough. But I believe I got somebody here that can say, my need is so great, I don't care who says no, who resists me, I'm going to get what God has for my life. Pressure is important. I'm not going to be that dude, or I'm not going to be that chick that's sitting around at the boardroom with their being CEO, or sitting around with your doctorate degree, or sitting around with the practice, or sitting around like God ain't never done nothing for you, talking about how lucky and fortunate you were. No, I want somebody to know, if it had not been for the grace of God, I don't know where I would be. So God, this is how I see it. You are worthy to be praised. I give you glory for everything I got. What I am, you made me. What I have, you gave me. What I know, you taught me. And where I am, you brought me. Look at your neighbor saying, that's how I see it.
To view this message in its entirety, please visit MountZionAnywhere.org.